emotions are tiring. If you've ever gone through like a really difficult period in your life emotionally, like a breakup or like the loss of somebody, often you feel fucking tired. Like you just feel like you're sleeping more than 8 hours and you just wake up and you still feel tired because feeling emotions is very draining. And in our course, we have like a breathwork section where we have in the community, like breathwork is a technique that brings up trapped emotions and allows you to feel them so you can process them. And if you've ever done a breathwork session, afterward, it's like the most exhausting thing in the world. Like you just zonked out. And what you're tapping into here, what you're recognizing is like your hopes got up, because you might win in 7 figures, which is life-changing for basically everybody. And then it didn't happen. And this is going to bring up normal emotions like disappointment, doubts, insecurities. Like it's totally normal to like feel kind of down when you thought you might get something that objectively you really would like, and then it didn't happen. If I had came 9th or 10th in the thrill, I probably would have felt a little bit off for a day. Like I definitely wouldn't have said, okay, well, let's just fire up some, 200 PLO. You know what I mean? Like for sure not. I would have taken a little bit of time, and it's normal. Sometimes you feel that way, sometimes you don't. I busted the $3,200 PLO, and it didn't affect me at all because I satellited into it, and it was a totally standard spot, and it wasn't deep in the money near the final table. Like it busted, and I was like, okay, whatever, and I just went on with my session. But like if I've been, if it's a day 2 and I'm kind of like, I thought about it, like you're emotionally invested, if that happens, well then yeah, when it doesn't work out, there's a period of adjustment where you feel like a little bit, tired from experiencing emotions and a little bit more like susceptible to thinking about the money. And it's okay to have an awareness of that and recognize that. And it makes sense to give yourself a break when that happens. Like you have to work with the person that you are. You're a human, not a computer. So even if you think like, oh, I shouldn't care, just count my fingers and continue. If you ignore the fact that you do care, you create a bigger problem. But if you recognize, okay, I'm a little bit out of sorts, I'm gonna give myself an hour, 2 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours, whatever it takes, then when you show up ready to play, you know the difference. It should feel like a fresh session. And this is the big trouble with like downswings, right? It's like, people can't remember the last time they ever played a session where it felt like a fresh session. They've been carrying the story of their, past losses from one session to the other for fucking 6 months. And like every day you play is the new day, it's like the past is irrelevant. And if you don't feel that way, you're not really ready to play. And that's the big trouble with downswings. It becomes very hard for people to feel that way. But even just on a minor downturn, like if you have 2 losing days in a row, and like maybe you made some mistakes and you started to think a certain kind of way, it can be good to just give it distance and like, okay, like that, I saw the patterns, I saw some things I was doing wrong, maybe I'm gonna learn from them, journal, study, whatever you need to do. And then, okay, but like when I go to play again, I'm not trying to avoid my 3rd losing day in a row. Like this isn't, it's a new session.